Engineer and Flux
Flux.
ultimate.
That is true. It's
And
gonna
if
be...
he has his W buff on, the W does actually get dispelled.
Oh yeah, because it's a buff. You're right.
Yeah, it's a dispellable buff. So he might get screwed by that. And they are... I was kind of curious whether or not they were going to run a tri-lane. Because I love Kayn in tri-lanes. For that, the W buff, giving the supports like extra base damage is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But they might also choose to run an dual mid lane. I think that I've seen him do that before.
Yeah, it's 100% dual lane. They have 2 warps.
Yeah. But okay, so how do you think that top lane is going to go in that case?
Top lane, it's Kayn and Rhapsody versus...
I think they're
Oh, they are
swapping right
actually
now.
shifting it. Okay. It's Monarch
Okay, so
and
Monarch
Jeremiah.
Monarch ported top to get that ward up. And they saw Rhapsody, I believe. I don't know if they saw Kayn, but they definitely saw Rhapsody.
From my perspective,
Yeah.
it's a little bit in favor, I think, of Jeremiah and Monarch.
Yeah. Why is that?
With levels, they're gonna get stronger and stronger. I don't see Rhapsody and Kayn getting a kill on that lane until like after level 3 or 4. I don't think they can get a kill. They can only get a kill like super early, like level 2 or maximum 3.
But not like it's... Oh, actually, Monarch is going middle.
Okay.
But like, okay, but why do you... Like, Kayn doesn't necessarily need to win by getting a kill. They can just box you out of the lane with harassment and... Because of the insane healing that the Kayn provides with the W and the Q.
Yeah, that's true. You're kind of forcing Jeremiah to like and the other to buy a lot of
region, yeah. And Jeremiah's mana is not infinite. Oh, Kayn actually misses the Q there on the waylay on the Jeremiah. So he's gonna be fine. But this is going to be a solo Jeremiah against a dual lane. So Jeremiah is definitely gonna suffer a bit in this lane, in the top lane. Although I don't necessarily see him being completely boxed out until level 6 at least. But meanwhile, in the middle lane, we have Monarch and Torture versus Calamity and Infora. And Calamity can output some damage if you let her, right?
That's true, but they're playing versus ranged, which is really good for the Hellburn team.
True. Because like in the melees, if it was a melee guy in the mid lane, the dragons would be a lot safer to hit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, for now, Flux and Apex in the bottom lane. We see Engineer rotating over. They have a ward here. So they see this rotation. Or at least they should see this rotation, I'll say. Which I think they are aware of. They're playing like they're aware of it. And the Hellburn side doesn't have really very long-range initiation. The Monarch, of course, Crippling Pollen is... oh, actually, they're going here in the middle lane. Actually stunned on the Calamity. The Calamity actually got dual stun there. The Nymphora heal comes out. And Nymphora heal, of course, heals so much if you allow it to. And even Rhapsody ported middle. So it's a tri-lane versus tri-lane in the mid lane right now. Jeremiah level 3, though. Jeremiah is actually doing fine. Better than expected, even, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't actually have any last hits, but he got XP. And as long as he gets XP, he cannot get boxed out by the Kayn too much.
I think that's all Jeremiah wants. I think he just wants to get like level 5, so he can have that heal. Super...
Okay, so now Engineer went to the top lane. What do you think about letting bottom lane be a 1v1 lane? Oh, sorry, in the top lane we see actually Kayn and Jeremiah duking it out a little bit. The heal already came out from Jeremiah, but you see that Jeremiah is taking a lot of damage actually. And Engineer, who has been roaming and moving around a lot, has not actually got that much XP compared to the other heroes here.
Yeah, that's true. I think
sorry,
it's an okay rotation. Yeah, it's an okay rotation by NG. But probably they just wanted to give Flux a little bit of advantage.
Yeah.
On creep kills.
Yeah, but bottom lane. Who do you think is favored here?
Right now it's Flux favored with. He has a lot of damage.
Do you think like
Okay.
Flux is just going to like if they man up to engage each other, that Flux is gonna come out on top?
Yeah, I think so.
Because the Apex of course does do a lot of harass damage over time, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I think Flux has way more damage.
Okay.
Than
You see
Apex.
Calamity in the mid lane actually getting quite low here. There's been some skirmishes going on here, like some stunts here and there, but not really anyone getting super in danger. But both sides are just applying pressure a lot here. And actually, it's a DD rune in the top lane. Engineer is maybe going to get it. No, the Nymphora gets a DD rune. I don't know if Engineer is going to be fine here. Nymphora has a stun again in 7 seconds. The Rhapsody is rotating over. Rhapsody, if he can get stun off, there should be Bloodlust here, I think, for the Legion side. Unless Sungbob cannot actually joke into the trees because there's a ward on there.
Yeah, he didn't activate his inner Sunk Bob.
Well, even if he did, they could just see him.
Yeah,
So it doesn't work that way, right?
But I guess he knows now that they have a ward here.
I don't know if... Yeah, probably he does know, actually. Rhapsody taking a little bit of damage in the top lane here. But yeah, it's like Rhapsody's just gonna heal back up usually. And even if the Kayn keeps the aggressive aura, you can just get some mana and use the W to heal back up, so... A lot of sustain from the Legion side in the top lane. But even with the Bloodlust, they were quite a bit, or quite a long time away from the mid lane, which means that the XP and gold is basically even still.
Yeah.
The XP is even a bit like in favor of the Hellborn side, with them missing like 1 or 2 waves there.
Oh, you do see 3 bottles on the Hellborn side.
Yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense. Jerozai kind of needs the bottle to sustain himself top. The mid lane, of course, has a bottle. And Flux, I don't know if Flux necessarily needed a bottle, but there's a lot of poke damage coming out from the Legion side, right? It's like...
Okay.
Yeah, Kayn takes a little bit of harass damage from the Jerozai, who just
bottom
like...
lane, Torture.
Yeah,
I
true.
think they see each other.
Apex is level 6. I don't know if... Yeah, Torches should see him. Even Flux is rotating over here, so... Apex decides to not go for it. And the top lane, actually, the Monarch picks up the Illusion rune there. It's a 2 versus 2. I don't think they're gonna really be able to achieve anything. Engineer does have a Wind Whistle, so he's faster than Nymphora. But it's not gonna actually able to do anything there.
He didn't take the gamble.
Nope. Actually, Calamity might be a bit in danger here if he's very far up. Monarch just not able to actually get in range there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the rune control is very important. If you spend this much gold in bottles, getting those runes becomes a lot more important, right? And we have seen a lot of fighting on these runes, right?
Yeah. Runes are really important, especially early game.
Yeah, very much true. We see... Oh, sorry, the top lane actually, we see that the Rhapsody actually goes down there. I didn't exactly see what happens, but the Jerozai Q, the heal, of course, now does 270 magic damage. So it's just a lot of damage coming out, I guess. And the Kayn cannot really provide burst healing to the Rhapsody there, like the Jerozai can to the Engineer or something like that. But yeah. I want to talk about the Flux, who actually went for 2 fortified braces here.
I think that's fine. Provides a lot of HP, magic armor also.
Yep.
A lot of stats.
And just in general, like damage. Strength provides extra damage as a Flux. So it's not just a defensive item in that case. It's also an offensive item. Of course, you do also want. Although I wanted to say you want to get like those steam boots, but is that even really the case? Do you want steam boots on Flux?
I think they're fine. I think I would go steam boots.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people go Ghost Marchers, because...
No, Ghost Marchers are not worth it anymore, I think.
On Flux?
No, like normally on a core.
Because I've seen them, like, for example, on a Panda, they do still usually go for Ghost Marchers. Oh, sorry, in the bottom lane, we see Apex actually get initiated upon here. Monarch Q, that means that the Apex cannot get out. And there's also the stun from the Torturer. Now the Kayn says, you! And Emporia heal right on top. That should be a lot of damage, but the Monarch actually preventing a lot of damage. But with an Emporia stun on top, that means that the Torturer is going to fall. But here comes Engineer. He poured it in. The Kayn is still quite full of HP, though. Only Jeremiah and Calamity did not choose to pour it in that fight. It's in the end, it's a one some like senior time or something like that every now and then. Engineer's not level 6 yet. Engineer's not really getting the levels that he would maybe like as much. He's the lowest level in the game, I think, yeah. So he might want to kind of go somewhere and get some of that XP. So at least he can get his ultimate. So they have the opportunity actually in the bottom lane. Sorry, Flux and Flux is getting quite low. Here comes an Enforcer stun and Flux is going down. The Monarch was not in time to actually save him. And even the Calamity is rotating over here. They've made the decision to send the Apex into the top lane against that Jeremiah, where they can kind of, you know, go bully each other. Meanwhile, Kayn in the bottom lane. It does kind of feel to me like they see Kayn as more of a position 1 hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm not certain I would see Kayn as a position 1 hero, more as like a position 2 or 3 hero. Where he's not necessarily the most important hero to get farm on.
Ooh, top lane.
Oh yeah, in the top lane, actually we see them going here for the runes. Apex is the first one that actually gets hit by the Monarch Q, by the Crippling Golem. And here comes the Calamity ultimate. 3 people hit in there, and there says you on the Torture, and Torture actually gets taunted by the Kayn. And meanwhile, the Monarch actually is super low, goes down. Jeremiah, meanwhile, the backline also instantly dead. And Torture gets picked off as well at the end. The Flux and the Engineer still in the bottom lane, not actually able to provide team support because the Flux, I believe, ported bottom after he died in the bottom lane. So he could not port in and help his team there. What initially looked like a clean escape for the Hellborn side quickly turned after the Kayn ultimated the Torturer there, which means that you cannot really disengage anymore.
Yep, you either leave the guy who's getting ulted by Kayn, or you just fight.
Yep. And notably, they missed the Monarch ultimate there as well, to maybe like disengage after the Kayn ultimate wears out or something, because they they don't have Crystallis maxed actually.
That's interesting, actually. I think you should max that.
Yeah, you usually max it, right?
Yeah. But
I'm not a butterfly player.
I think he wants the restrain more.
The restraint from the Crippling Fallen, right?
Yeah.
But it provides so little damage. Of course, it's half a second more, but only 30 extra damage basically. While
I think we're gonna see a Kayn ulti bottom. He's
yeah, he is actually smoked here. That means that he is ready to set something up. They're going for the bottom rune. They're expecting the enemies to also kind of commit to this rune. Actually, never mind. Here comes Flux and Engineer. There is now an Engineer ultimate, but it doesn't really matter if Flux is actually getting... Oh, the barbed armor got purged actually by the Engineer ultimate, and that almost saved the Flux, but it wasn't quite enough. The Flux still goes down, and the Apex at the end also ultimates to finish off the Engineer, and that's 2 for 0 once again. Kayn just picked up the barbed armor, I think. And he actually activated the barbed armor, and it did so much work against the Flux. But the good Engineer ultimate plus a good kick meant that the Kayn got pushed out of the Engineer ultimate and ran back in afterwards with the ultimate. So that prevented a lot of damage. And actually, oh look, this Jeremiah with an Invis rune poured it in, but they don't have Engineer ultimates. Do you think they can fight this? Well, they're going to fight this, so Kayn is getting slowed a little bit. Torturer now stunned in, and the Flux ultimate, so Kayn is in a lot of trouble. Kayn is taking a lot of damage. Kayn is going to fall, which means that is at least a very important kill for the Hellborn side, but that's 5 people rotating for only 1 kill. Do you think they could have gotten more there?
It's hard to tell.
They want more for sure though, so Apex is in the front line. Now Apex actually gets tripling, but Apex is going down so fast. No, Rhapsody ultimate saves him. Jeremiah is so low on HP. Flux slow low on HP. Flux goes down. Jeremiah running for his life, not enough. So the Flux, Jeremiah also goes down. Now Monarch and Engineer, the two support heroes. Monarch says, focus me, leave the rest be. Save yourself, fools. But no, Engineer goes down to the back line, and that is 4 people that go down.
Ooh, the purple teleport.
Oh, and the purple teleport, but they want more, because here is Torture now all alone. Calamity in the front line. And that is 5 people sent back to the well. Man, by the Legion side.
They played perfectly. Not gonna lie.
So that was an amazing Rhapsody ultimate, because you saw like the Calamity ultimate there trying to maybe like keeping them back a little bit. But the Apex ultimate ran to the side of it, and the Rhapsody ultimate got basically fully channeled there to save that Apex. Because the Apex is tanky right now with that Dreamcatcher, right?
Yeah.
He has 1.5k HP with Steam Boots. Oh, actually, and deny. That's a good deny by the Jeremiah, but he doesn't have charm yet, so he's taking a lot of damage and he's gonna fall. He did have his heal up, but the heal is, of course, has such a long animation that it's hard to catch. And the top lane, look at this. Kane says, you! And Flux is taking a lot of damage. Flux is taking so much damage and is going to fall. Team support not quite there in time. I think that was Torture teleporting, actually. If the Torturer committed to that teleport, that would have meant that the Torturer would have likely gone down with the Flux there. And Flux, even though he has 2 bracers, it doesn't really matter, as the Kane gets the channels full ultimate. Oh, and top lane, sorry, Engineer channels the ultimate. Kane takes a lot of damage, but Torture takes more damage because of the Lymphoria stun and the Calamity ultimate. And the Monarch is now in trouble. Monarch is getting chased down, and the Dragons also eat butterflies, apparently. Apex now once more. They're not done yet. They're playing so aggressive. They're not giving the enemy any time to breathe. Engineer running for his life. But once again goes down. It's just left, right, and center where they are being pressured by the lead inside here. The Hellborn is just not getting any time to breathe.
Man, this is crazy gameplay by Newerth here.
Yeah, it's very nice to see that. You said like the Newerth guys played very defensive and passive the first game. But
yes, because of their picks. Though.
Yeah, but they can also very comfortably play aggressive, and that's always amazing to see. That they play comfortably at both ends of the spectrum. And Jeremiah in the bottom lane choosing to TP out with that charm. He says, now I'm just gonna get out. Of course, there's no... If the Kane isn't there, there's no way for them to cancel that. And 5 people actually being ready here for the Hellborn side. They want to fight. Is the one to get something done. The Flux not actually able to get his Q off. And if the Oh, so Kane goes in the backline, and so much damage coming out. The Apex ultimate hits 5 people there. And here comes the Lymphoria teleport with the Calamity as well. The ultimate from the Rhapsody saving anyone that may have been low on damage there. And that is 3 picks off. Torture calls the G, Kane calls the G, and that is going to be game 1. 21-3. This is a dominating display from the Legion side here, from Newerth here. And wow, that was amazing to watch, right?
That was crazy.